Ambassador John Hayes stood at the huge window of Unity Station. He watched Earth spin slowly below him. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from up here, but John knew that peace was about to end. 3 hours ago, a message had arrived from the Galactic Council. The message was coded and marked urgent. John had read it 5 times, hoping he had misunderstood. But the words were clear. Earth was being called to answer serious charges. The door behind him opened with a soft hiss. Captain Lisa Morgan walked in. She wore her military uniform, perfectly pressed, but her face showed worry. "Ambassador," she said, stopping next to him, "the fleet is ready to leave. All 5 ships are prepared for the jump to Council space." John nodded without turning from the window. "How bad is it, Lisa?" "Bad, sir. They're calling the full council. All 47 species will be there. That hasn't happened in over 100 years. John finally turned to face her. Lisa was one of Earth's best pilots. She had been with him since humanity joined the galactic community 5 years ago. If she was worried, things were serious. "They say we broke the rules," John said. "The Zephyrian Empire filed charges against us. They claim our quantum drive tests are dangerous." Lisa's eyes widened. "But we followed all their protocols. We tested everything in empty space, far from any inhabited systems." "I know, but the Zephyrians say we're moving too fast. They think we're playing with forces we don't understand." A beeping sound filled the room. The main screen on the wall came to life. Commander Ryan Torres appeared. He was aboard the lead ship of Earth's small fleet. "Ambassador Hayes," Ryan said, "we're picking up strange energy readings from the council chambers. They're using more power than normal. Whatever they're planning, it's big." John felt a cold weight in his stomach. The Galactic Council controlled trade routes, technology sharing, and peacekeeping across known space. If they decided against Earth, humanity could be cut off from the stars. "Ryan, have you heard anything from our friends on the council?" John asked. The commander shook his head. "Nothing, sir. Even the species that usually support us are staying quiet. The Altarians, the Nexari, even the peaceful Yathi. No one wants to talk." John thought about this. Earth's rapid progress had made some species nervous. Humans had gone from first spaceflight to quantum drive in less than a century. Most species took thousands of years to make the same journey. "Sir," Lisa said quietly, "what about Dr. Chen and General Rodriguez? Should they come with us?" John had already considered this. Dr. Emma Chen was Earth's lead physicist. She had made the quantum breakthrough that had caught the Council's attention. General Sam Rodriguez was Earth's military attaché, a calm and intelligent officer. "Yes," John decided. "We'll need Emma to explain our technology, and Sam to show we're not a military threat." The door opened again. A young officer entered and saluted. "Ambassador, we have a problem. Long-range sensors show Zephyrian warships gathering near the council chambers. 12 heavy cruisers so far." Lisa and Ryan both stiffened. Warships at a council meeting was almost unheard of. "Are they expecting a fight?" Lisa asked. John shook his head slowly. "No, they're making a point. They want everyone to see their military strength while they accuse us." He walked to his desk and picked up a datapad. The formal charges were displayed on the screen. Reckless endangerment, unauthorized technological advancement, disrupting galactic stability. "Get the team ready," John ordered. "We leave in 1 hour. Full diplomatic protocols." And Lisa, "Yes, sir. Have our ship's quantum shields on standby, just in case." Lisa saluted and left quickly. Ryan's image flickered and vanished as he prepared his ship. John stood alone again, looking at Earth below. Humanity had always been the new kid in a very old neighborhood. Now they would have to prove they belonged among the stars. The next few days would decide humanity's future in the galaxy. John took a deep breath and began preparing for the most important meeting of his life. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was bigger than any building on Earth. The ceiling disappeared into shadows high above. Strange lights floated in the air, casting blue and purple glows across the room. Seats for 47 different species formed a giant circle. Each seat was different, built for the unique body of each alien race. Ambassador John Hayes walked into the chamber with his team. Dr. Emma Chen followed close behind, her eyes wide as she took in the alien architecture. General Sam Rodriguez walked with military precision, his face calm but alert. They were led to a raised platform in the center of the circle. This was the defendant's circle, the place where accused species stood to face judgment. "Stay calm," John whispered to his team. "Remember, we've done nothing wrong." Emma nodded, but her hands shook slightly. This was her first time addressing the full council. Sam stood straight, his years of military training keeping him steady. A deep vibration filled the chamber. The council members were arriving. John watched as impossible beings took their seats. The Altarians floated in like living music, their bodies made of sound and light. The Varkish climbed into their pools of heated liquid, their scales changing color with each movement. The ancient Yathi unfolded themselves from their travel pods, their 1,000 eyes blinking slowly. Then came the Zephyrians. They moved like liquid metal, their tentacles flowing and reshaping constantly. Their leader took the accuser's podium across from the human team. At the highest seat, Supreme Arbitrator Kexthen appeared, the crystalline being pulsed with inner light. When Kexthen spoke, the words seemed to form directly in everyone's mind. "The Galactic Council is now in session," Kexthen announced. "We gather to hear charges against the species known as humanity, from the planet designated as Earth." The Zephyrian delegate's tentacles writhed as it began to speak. Its voice was like grinding metal. "Honored Council, the humans have shown dangerous disregard for established order. They develop technologies without proper oversight. They experiment with forces that could tear apart space itself." Emma stepped forward before John could stop her. "That's not true. Our experiments are completely safe. We've taken every precaution." Silence. The Zephyrian's form grew larger. "You see, even now they interrupt. They have no respect for proper procedures." Kexthen pulsed brighter. "The human will wait to be recognized before speaking. Continue with your charges." The Zephyrian turned to address the full council. 5 years. That is all the time these humans have been in space. 5 years. Yet they claim to have mastered quantum phase technology. The Zephyrian Empire took 3,000 years to understand these forces. Murmurs ran through the chamber. Many species nodded in agreement. "They are not natural," the Zephyrian continued. "Their progress is too fast. It took them only 60 of their years to go from their first rocket to landing on their moon. Another 40 to build space stations. And now, quantum drives that rival our best technology. This is impossible through normal development." The Altarian representative spoke next, its voice like a symphony. "The Zephyrian speaks truth. We have observed the humans. Their advancement defies logic. Perhaps they have stolen technology. Perhaps they have made contact with forbidden sources." "We have stolen nothing," Sam Rodriguez said firmly. "We developed our technology through hard work and innovation." Kexthen's light dimmed slightly. "General Rodriguez, you are not recognized to speak. Ambassador Hayes, control your delegation." John stepped forward. "Supreme Arbitrator, may I address these charges?" "You may speak, Ambassador." John took a breath. "Honored council members, humanity has indeed advanced quickly. But this is not due to theft or forbidden knowledge. Humans have always been innovative when faced with challenges. When we learned we were not alone in the universe, we didn't hide. We reached for the stars." The Nexeri ambassador's energy field flickered. "Pretty words, human. But the Zephyrian is right. Your quantum experiments have created ripples across 17 star systems. You play with forces that destroyed the precursor civilization." "The precursors were reckless," Emma said quietly. "We are not." The chamber fell silent. Mentioning the precursors was almost taboo. They had ruled the galaxy millions of years ago, before disappearing in a catastrophe of their own making. Kexthan's form brightened. "Dr. Chen, explain your statement." Emma looked at John, who nodded. She stepped forward, her voice growing stronger. "The precursors tried to reshape reality itself. We're only creating small, controlled quantum fields. Our technology is completely different." But the council didn't look convinced. The seeds of doubt had been planted. Humanity was on trial, and the verdict seemed already decided. John Hayes stepped closer to the holographic controls at the center of the chamber. The alien technology responded to his touch, creating a large display that all council members could see. "Honored Council," John began, his voice steady and clear. "Let me show you the truth about humanity's progress." Images appeared in the air. Ancient humans discovering fire, the wheel, writing. Each invention building on the last. "Humans have always been problem solvers," John explained. "When we face challenges, we adapt. When we found obstacles, we invented tools to overcome them." The display changed, showing more recent history: the Industrial Revolution, the first airplane, the space race between nations. Dr. Emma Chen joined him at the controls. "Our species learned something important early in our history. Competition drives innovation. When different groups of humans competed, we advanced faster." She brought up technical diagrams. "When we discovered we weren't alone in the universe, every nation on Earth united. For the first time in our history, all of humanity worked together. That's why we advanced so quickly." The Varkish delegate's scales shifted to a skeptical green. "You claim unity drove your progress. Most species achieve unity through millennia of growth. You achieved it in mere years." General Sam Rodriguez stepped forward. "We united because we had to. Learning about the galactic community showed us how small our differences really were. Human, Chinese, American, Russian. These divisions meant nothing compared to being citizens of the galaxy." The chamber fell quiet. Then the ancient Yathi elder spoke, its 1,000 eyes focusing on the humans. "Show us this quantum technology you have developed. Let the council judge its safety." Emma's hands moved over the controls. Complex equations filled the air. "Our quantum phase technology works differently from established methods. Instead of forcing space to bend, we create tiny bubbles of altered space-time. The formulas transformed into visual models. Tiny points of light demonstrated the quantum fields. Traditional quantum drives punch holes through space," Emma continued. "Our method is more like sailing on ocean currents. We don't damage space, we flow with it." The Altarian scientist's melodic voice interrupted. "Impossible. The energy requirements alone would be enormous." "Not with our approach," Emma smiled. "We discovered that quantum particles respond to observation differently when the observer genuinely expects a specific outcome. Human optimism, our belief that problems have solutions, actually affects quantum behavior." Shocked silence filled the chamber. The Nexari ambassador's energy field pulsed rapidly. "You're saying your emotions affect quantum mechanics." "Not emotions exactly," Emma corrected, "but consciousness does play a role. The precursors missed this because they relied only on pure logic. Humans bring intuition and creativity to science." The Zephyrian delegate's tentacles whipped angrily. "This is precisely the danger. They mix science with primitive thinking. They could destabilize reality itself." John raised his hand. "With respect, our method has proven safer than traditional quantum drives. We've conducted over 300 tests without a single containment failure." General Rodriguez added data to the display. Every test was monitored. Every safety protocol was followed. We even developed new shielding technology to protect nearby space. The shielding specifications appeared. Several council scientists leaned forward, studying the designs. "These shields," the Altarian scientist said slowly, "they could have defensive applications beyond quantum containment." "Yes," Sam confirmed. "We believe in dual-use technology, tools that advance science while protecting life." Kex then pulsed thoughtfully. You've presented your defense well, humans, but theoretical safety and practical safety are different matters. What guarantees can you offer? Emma pulled up final displays. We proposed full transparency. Any species can send observers to our tests. We'll share our safety protocols freely, and we'll accept council oversight for all major experiments. The Zephyrian delegate writhed in frustration. They speak of cooperation while hiding their true capabilities. How do we know they haven't already weaponized this technology? Because, John said firmly, humans learn from our own history. We know the horror of weapons turned against our own kind. We chose to reach for the stars in peace. The council members began discussing among themselves. Some seemed convinced, others remained skeptical. The debate grew louder. Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the chamber. Red warning lights flashed. Something was very wrong. Commander Beth Parker's face appeared on the emergency display. Her expression was one of pure terror. Council, we're detecting a massive incursion at the galactic border. Unknown vessels are breaking through our defense grid. They're using technology we've never seen before. The chamber erupted in chaos. In the confusion, only the human team noticed the pattern in the sensor data. They recognized what others couldn't see. The ancient enemy had returned. The emergency display showed massive ships breaking through the galactic border defenses. They moved unlike anything in the Council's databases. Space itself seemed to twist and fold around them. Impossible. The Zephyrian delegate's tentacles turned pale. Our border shields are impenetrable. Commander Beth Parker's voice crackled through the speakers. Council, the intruders are using some kind of space-folding technology. Our weapons pass right through them. They're not really where they appear to be. The sensor data streamed across the main screen. Planet-sized vessels emerged from folded space, their surfaces covered in writhing biomechanical structures. As they moved, stars seemed to dim in their wake. The Varkish delegate's scales turned black with fear. No, it cannot be. They're just legends, stories to frighten younglings. What are they? John Hayes asked, though he suspected he already knew. The ancient Yathi elder's thousand eyes closed in despair. The Devourers. They have returned. Panic swept through the chamber. Several delegates tried to flee. Others called frantically for their home fleets. The ordered council meeting turned to chaos. Supreme Arbitrator Kex then pulsed with bright, commanding light. Order. We must have order. The crystalline beam's authority slowly calmed the pandemonium. Explain these Devourers. Now. The Yathi elder spoke with a voice heavy with age and sorrow. 10,000 years ago, they came from dark space. They consumed entire star systems, converting matter and energy into more of themselves. Billions died before they suddenly vanished. Emma Chen studied the sensor readings. They're using dimensional folding. That's why weapons pass through them. They exist partially in our dimension and partially in another. Our ancestors fought them for centuries. The Altarian representative sang mournfully. Every weapon failed. Every defense crumbled. In the end, the Devourers simply left. We never knew why. The display updated. 12 council worlds lay in the Devourers' path. The invaders moved slowly but inevitably toward the galactic core. The Zephyrian delegate turned to the human team. Your quantum experiments must have attracted them. You've doomed us all. No, John said firmly. Look at their trajectory. They were already coming. They'd been traveling for years, maybe decades. General Sam Rodriguez analyzed the tactical display. The Council's defenses are based on conventional physics, energy shields, plasma weapons, gravity nets. None of that will work against dimensional folding. Then we're lost. The Nexari ambassador's energy field dimmed. We should evacuate what we can and flee to unexplored space. Wait, Emma said suddenly. We might have a solution. All eyes turned to the human physicist. She pulled up the quantum field schematics they had shown earlier. Our quantum phase technology creates localized reality bubbles. If we can scale it up, we might be able to counter their dimensional folding. The Altarian scientist's tone was skeptical. You would need enormous power sources. The energy requirements would be astronomical. Not if we link multiple generators, Emma explained rapidly. The quantum fields would resonate, amplifying each other. It's never been tried on this scale, but the math works. John stepped forward. Earth requests permission to help defend the galaxy. Bitter laughter erupted from several delegates. The Zephyrians' tentacles whipped dismissively. The species we're trying for reckless behavior wants to save us. This is a joke. Kex then silenced the mockery. Do you have this technology ready, humans? Sam nodded. Our fleet has prototype quantum shields. They're designed for exactly this kind of threat. Impossible, the Varkish delegate protested. You couldn't have known about the Devourers. Emma and John exchanged glances. John spoke carefully. We study your historical records. There were gaps, inconsistencies, entire civilizations that vanished without explanation. We suspected something had been hidden or forgotten. So you prepared for an ancient threat while we debated your right to exist. The Yathig elder's eyes focused intently on the humans. We hoped we were wrong, John admitted, but humans have a saying. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. The latest sensor data showed the Devourers accelerating. They would reach the first inhabited system in less than 40 hours. Kex then made a decision. Show us this quantum shield technology. If it works, the Council will reconsider humanity's position. And if it fails? The Zephyrian asked. John's voice was steady. Then we'll fail defending the galaxy, not hiding from our fears. The Council chamber fell silent. The fate of trillions now rested on humanity's untested technology, and the courage to use it. Time was running out. The Council chamber had transformed into a war room. Tactical displays filled the air, showing the Devourers' advance. The ancient enemy moved steadily toward the first inhabited system, a peaceful world called Kepler 7, home to 3 billion souls. Dr. Emma Chen worked at a hastily assembled console, her fingers flying over both human and alien controls. Council scientists crowded around her, watching as she demonstrated Earth's quantum shield technology. The principle is simple, Emma explained, projecting a small hologram. We create a bubble of stable spacetime around our ships. When the Devourers try to fold space, our bubble maintains local reality. She activated a miniature demonstration. A small model ship surrounded by a shimmering field sat in the center. When she triggered a simulated dimensional attack, the space around the model warped and twisted, but the ship remained untouched in its protective bubble. The Altarian scientist harmonized thoughtfully. Remarkable. But scaling this to protect entire ships, entire fleets. We've already done it. General Sam Rodriguez interrupted. He connected to Earth's fleet network. Our ships are equipped and ready. On the main display, 5 human vessels appeared. They looked small and primitive compared to the massive Council dreadnoughts, but each one pulsed with the distinctive signature of quantum shields. The Zephyrian delegate remained skeptical. 5 ships against the Devourers. They destroyed armadas of thousands. Our ships are just the beginning, John Hayes said. We can modify your vessels too. The quantum generators are built to be adaptable. Emma pulled up technical specifications. We need your zero-point reactors for power, your crystal matrix computers for calculations, and your graviton stabilizers to maintain field coherence. Alone, we can't do this. Together, we might have a chance. The Council members looked at each other uncertainly. Sharing technology between species was rare. The level of cooperation the humans suggested was unprecedented. Supreme Arbitrator Kex then made the decision. Do it. Modify our ships. Engineers from dozen species swarmed into action. The humans shared their quantum equations freely. Altarian harmonics experts fine-tuned the shield frequencies. Varkish thermal specialists solved heat dissipation problems. Even the Zephyrians, still suspicious, provided their advanced power distribution networks. Emma worked alongside the alien scientists, translating human concepts into forms each species could understand. She found herself explaining Earth physics to beings who had studied the universe for millennia. "Your approach is so different." The Nexari scientist's energy field pulsed with curiosity. "You treat quantum mechanics almost like art." "Maybe because humans are new to space," Emma smiled. "We haven't had time to develop rigid thinking. We see possibilities, not limitations." Hours passed. The Devourers drew closer. Reports came in of evacuations beginning on threatened worlds. Refugee ships fled in all directions, but there was nowhere truly safe. Admiral Kate Foster commanded the human fleet from her flagship. Her voice came through the speakers. "Ambassador Hayes, we're picking up massive gravitational distortions. The Devourers will reach Kepler-7 in 6 hours." "Are the shield modifications complete?" John asked. "Barely," Kate replied. "We've managed to outfit 30 council ships with quantum shields. It's not enough for a full defense, but it's what we have." The modified fleet assembled at the edge of the Kepler system. Human ships stood alongside massive council dreadnoughts. The mix of technologies created an unusual sensor signature, part familiar, part radically new. Lieutenant Jack Turner reported from Tactical. "Devourer weapons are charging. They're preparing to fold space around the planet itself." Emma watched the readings with growing alarm. "They're not just attacking the fleet. They're going to consume the entire system. All ships, activate quantum shields." Admiral Foster ordered. "Remember, we're not just protecting ourselves. We're protecting everyone." The shields activated. 30 bubbles of stable space-time formed around the Allied ships. It was a small defense against an enemy that had consumed civilizations. But it was more than anyone had managed in 10,000 years. The first Devourer weapon fired. Reality twisted, space folded, dimensions overlapped. The attack that had destroyed countless fleets struck the quantum shields. And for the first time in galactic history, a Devourer weapon failed. The shield held. The human ship inside remained untouched. A moment of stunned silence filled both the fleet and the council chamber. Then excited voices erupted everywhere. It worked. The shields actually worked. But Emma's face remained grim. "That was just one weapon. They have thousands, and our shields are already down to 70%. The real battle was just beginning." The Devourers adapted quickly. After their first weapon failed, they began firing in coordinated patterns. Dozens of space-folding beams struck the Allied fleet simultaneously. The quantum shields flickered and strained under the assault. "Shields down to 60%, Lieutenant Turner reported from the human flagship. "They're learning our defense patterns." Admiral Kate Foster studied the tactical display. The Devourers had stopped their advance, focusing all their firepower on the shield-equipped ships. Behind the Allied fleet, billions of lives on Kepler-7 depended on their protection. In the council chamber, Emma Chen worked frantically with the assembled scientists. Data streams from the battle filled multiple screens. She could see the problem clearly. The shields were holding, but they wouldn't last long enough. "We need more power," Emma said. "The shields are draining too fast." The Altarian scientist's harmonics wavered with stress. "We're already pushing our reactors beyond safe limits. Any more, and they'll overload." "Wait," the Varkish engineer's scales brightened. "What if we link the shields between ships? Share the power load?" Emma's eyes lit up. "Yes, if we create a network, the shields could support each other. When one weakens, others compensate." She began recalculating. The math was complex, requiring perfect synchronization between different species technologies. But it could work. "I need direct communication with all shield-equipped ships," Emma announced. Kex then authorized it immediately. Within seconds, Emma was connected to engineers across the fleet. "Listen carefully," she said. "We're going to link all quantum shields into one network. You'll need to match these frequencies exactly. She transmitted the calculations. Across 30 ships, engineers from different species worked to implement the changes. It was dangerous. If even one ship failed to synchronize properly, the entire network could collapse. The Devourers sensed something changing. Their attacks intensified. Space itself seemed to scream as dimensional weapons tore at reality. 15 seconds to network activation. Emma counted down. All ships report ready. The replies came in. Human ships confirmed. Council dreadnoughts confirmed. Even the Zephyrian vessels, their crews now fighting alongside former suspects, reported ready. Network activating in 3, 2, 1. Now. The individual shield bubbles expanded and merged. What had been 30 separate defenses became one unified barrier. The quantum fields resonated with each other, creating a wall of stable space-time around the fleet. The next Devourer barrage struck the networked shields. This time, the assault spread across all ships equally. No single point bore the full force. "It's working," Admiral Foster shouted. Shields holding at 45% and stabilizing. But the Devourers weren't finished. The biomechanical monstrosities began to change formation. They surrounded the fleet, attacking from all directions. They were testing the network for weaknesses. General Sam Rodriguez noticed something in the sensor data. They're not just randomly attacking. They're probing our shield frequencies, looking for gaps. John Hayes had an idea. "Emma, what if we rotate the frequencies? Keep changing them before they can adapt." Emma nodded. "It would require constant calculations. We'd need—" "We'll help," the Nexari scientist interrupted. "Our species processes energy patterns naturally. We can handle the frequency rotations." More species volunteered. The Yathi offered their parallel processing abilities. The Altarians provided harmonic analysis. Even the suspicious Zephyrians contributed their advanced pattern recognition. What had started as human technology became something greater. Each species added their strengths, creating a defense beyond what any single civilization could achieve. The battle raged on. The Devourers threw everything at the networked shields. Weapons that had destroyed entire fleets in ages past failed against the unified defense. Incredible. The Varkish delegate watched in amazement. In 10,000 years, no one has lasted this long against them. But Emma noticed something troubling in the data. The Devourers are pulling back. Not retreating. Repositioning. On the tactical display, the massive bioships formed a new configuration. They were linking together, just as the Allied fleet had done. "Oh no," Admiral Foster breathed. "They're copying us." The Devourers began to merge their weapons into one massive dimensional cannon. If it fired, it would dwarf anything they had used before. "All power to shields," Kate ordered. "This is going to be big." The unified Devourer weapon charged. Space warped around it. Stars seemed to bend toward its gravitational field. The fate of Kepler-7, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The unified Devourer weapon glowed with otherworldly energy. Space bent around it like water circling a drain. The Allied fleet's networked shields flickered as they strained against the gravitational forces alone. In the council chamber, Emma Chen's hands shook as she worked the controls. They're drawing power from subspace itself. When that weapon fires, it won't just fold space, it will tear it apart. "Can our shields hold?" John Hayes asked, though he feared the answer. Emma shook her head. "Not at current power levels. We need something more." The ancient Yathi elder moved forward, its thousand eyes focusing on the human scientist. "There is a way, but it has never been attempted." All attention turned to the aged being. "During our golden age, we theorized about zero-point fusion. Combining our zero-point reactors with fusion technology could create unlimited power, but the process was deemed too dangerous." General Sam Rodriguez understood immediately. "You're talking about matter-antimatter catalyzed fusion, enhanced by zero-point energy extraction." "Precisely. the Yathi confirmed. But the reaction could destroy our ships if not perfectly controlled. Emma's mind raced. The humans have fusion technology, not as advanced as yours, but more flexible. We've learned to work with unstable reactions. The Altarian scientists' tones grew excited. Yes, human engineering is crude but adaptable. You build things to fail safely rather than never fail at all. We call it redundancy. Emma smiled grimly. When things go wrong, and they always do, we have backup systems. The Devourer weapon continued charging. They had minutes at most. Do it, Kex then commanded. Combine your technologies. Save us all. Emma connected with the human fleet's engineering teams. Listen up, everyone. We're about to try something insane. Link your fusion reactors to the Council ship's zero-point systems. Use these calculations. She transmitted jury-rigged formulas that combined human and alien physics. It shouldn't work. The technologies were too different. But humans had always excelled at making incompatible things work together. Across the fleet, engineers performed technological miracles. Human fusion cores connected to alien zero-point extractors. Power systems that had never been designed to interact suddenly found common ground. The Zephyrian delegate watched in disbelief. They're using fiber optic cables and magnetic fields to bridge quantum incompatibilities. It's madness. It's human, John corrected. We've always been good at improvising. The hybrid power systems came online one by one. The quantum shields blazed brighter. The network strengthened beyond all previous limits. Power output at 300%, Admiral Foster reported. 400, 500, still climbing. The Devourer weapon reached full charge. Reality warped. The stars themselves seemed to flicker. Then it fired. The beam was not just energy. It was concentrated unreality, designed to unmake whatever it touched. It struck the Allied shields with the force of a collapsing star. The shields held. More than held, they absorbed the energy, redirected it, transformed destruction into strength. The hybrid human council technology did something the Devourers had never encountered. It adapted in real time. Impossible, the Varkish gasped. They're using the attack to power our defenses. Emma laughed, exhausted but triumphant. Conservation of energy. Basic physics. The Devourers forgot that energy can't be destroyed, only transformed. The feedback hit the Devourer weapon. Dimensional energies rebounded through their own systems. The massive biomechanical ships writhed as their own power turned against them. For the first time in recorded history, the Devourers retreated. They pulled back, their unified weapon array breaking apart. Smaller vessels peeled away from the main fleet. They folded space around themselves and vanished into the dark between stars. The council chamber erupted in celebration. Species that had barely tolerated each other embraced. The impossible had happened. They had driven back the ancient enemy. But Emma noticed something in the sensor data. They're not beaten. Just surprised. They'll adapt and return. John nodded. Then we'll be ready. All of us, together. The battle was won, but the war had just begun. Fortunately, the galaxy now knew something it hadn't before. United, they could face any threat, and humanity had shown them the way. The council chamber looked different now. Where there had been suspicion and accusation just hours before, there was now respect and cooperation. The charges against humanity had been forgotten in the face of their heroic defense. Supreme Arbitrator Kex then pulsed with warm light as the formal session resumed. The matter before us has changed. Earth stands accused of reckless advancement. Yet this same advancement saved billions of lives today. The Zephyrian delegate's tentacles moved in what John Hayes now recognized as embarrassment. We withdraw all charges. Humanity has proven their wisdom equals their innovation. One by one, other species voiced their agreement. The Altarians sang harmonies of approval. The Varkish flashed colors of alliance. Even the ancient Yathi bowed their eye stalks in respect. Moreover, Kex then continued, the Council makes a new proposal. Earth shall be granted full membership, with a permanent seat on the Security Council. John felt his team's surprise. Full membership usually took decades, even centuries. A permanent Security Council seat was unprecedented for such a young species. There's more, the Yathi elder added. We propose creating a joint defense initiative. All species will share technology freely to prepare for the Devourers' return. Emma Chen stepped forward. We accept, with one condition. The initiative must be open to all peaceful species. No one should face the Devourers alone. Agreed. Kexthen's light-pulsed approval. Dr. Chen, we ask you to leave the research division. Your ability to merge different technologies is unique. General Sam Rodriguez received his own appointment, head of tactical planning. His military experience combined with human adaptability made him perfect for the role. As the formal ceremonies concluded, delegations from various species approached the human team. The Altarian scientist harmonized softly to Emma. Your quantum equations are elegant. We'd like to study them further. And we'd love to learn your harmonic frequencies, Emma replied. Together, we could develop even better shields. The Zephyrian delegate approached John. Ambassador Hayes, I owe you an apology. We judged humanity by our own standards. We didn't see that different doesn't mean wrong. John smiled. No apology needed. Caution is natural when facing the unknown. What matters is that we stood together when it counted. Later, in a private moment, John's team gathered on an observation deck. Earth hung in the distance, blue and beautiful. Hard to believe it was just this morning we were on trial, Sam remarked. Lisa Morgan, who had piloted throughout the battle, joined them. The evacuation ships are returning to Kepler-7. Billions of people alive because of what we did today. Emma stared at the stars. The Devourers will return. They'll adapt to our defenses. We need to stay ahead of them. We will, John said confidently. Look what we accomplished when species worked together. Humans might have provided the spark, but everyone contributed fuel to the fire. A message appeared on John's personal display. It was from Earth's leadership. The world is celebrating, he read aloud. Every nation, every people. They're calling it humanity's finest hour. It's more than that, Emma said. It's the galaxy's finest hour. The day everyone learned that unity is stronger than isolation. Over the following weeks, the Joint Defense Initiative took shape. Human shipyards worked alongside alien construction docks. Scientists from dozens of species collaborated on new technologies. Military officers shared tactical knowledge freely. The quantum zero-point hybrid shields became standard on all ships. But more importantly, the spirit of cooperation spread. Trade barriers fell. Scientific exchanges flourished. The galaxy had discovered something more powerful than any weapon. True unity. 6 months later, deep space monitors detected Devourer scouts probing the galaxy's borders. This time, they found a very different reception. Unified fleets with hybrid technology patrolled every sector. Early warning systems spanned star systems. The Devourers retreated without attacking. They had learned something too. The galaxy was no longer easy prey. In the Council archives, historians recorded the event that changed everything. They called it the day Earth shocked the Galactic Council. But John Hayes preferred another name. The day the galaxy became one. Standing on Earth's new embassy station, watching ships from 100 worlds work together, John smiled. Humanity had reached for the stars and found family. The stars no longer seemed cold and distant. They felt like home.